tuned to Planet Vero Radio. I am Cindy Schwartz. We are broadcast on iHeartMedia, and this show is also podcast on Spreaker. This is the Patient Partner Show. I've got my co-host Jeannie Roller talking with me on Skype from Indiana, and we're talking today about chaperones. We're talking about medical chaperones for surgical medical patients. And we're also talking about some of the other things that go along with that and exactly what are chaperones, why do we need them, who are they, who do they work for, what is the premise to have a chaperone, and all the ins and outs of what this actually is. So, Jeannie, go ahead and give us some information.
Well, the premise or how having a chaperone present is sold to the patient is that they are there for their protection. This is probably not true, because the chaperone is going to be a paid staff member in the medical facility or doctor's office. Generally, they will use a medical assistant, or they can use the front office help if they need. They do say in most of the articles I have read that a family member of the patient or a family friend of the patient is considered a biased witness and therefore is not a viable chaperone. My question would be, and we have discussed this, Cindy, is how is a paid staff member not a biased witness or chaperone?
And so who exactly are these chaperones, Jeannie? Are these the people that when you go in to have your exam, that's the person that's standing in the room with the doctor?
Yes, they are. It's usually during the intimate exam process. Some of them use it for all the exam, but some of them only use them for the intimate process. So
this person then, for that intimate examination, can be the person that's working at the desk answering the phones?
Could be. They grab whoever is available, and if there is no other person available, that's who they're going to grab, and you may not know it. Because generally, you're not asked and you're not forewarned, they just bring them in. That's what I hear from most people. There are some states that mandate the use of chaperones: Alabama, Delaware, Georgia, Montana, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee. They mandate that the physician has a chaperone, but again, this chaperone is going to be their paid staff member. So, who are they going to protect? How are these chaperones trained? Are they really trained? That's the other issue. No, they're not trained. They just stand there and they basically look at your exposed genitals or other regions. If they find something odd going on, are they actually going to say anything? Probably not.
And so these is the patient, talking along the same line, is the patient allowed to have their specific chaperone with them as well?
They are, but as most of these articles state, that if you have, say, you're a woman, you have your husband in, and he witnesses the doctor doing something that shouldn't be done, he is considered a biased witness, and they're not going to believe his version of the story.
Okay. So on another note, and I know this for a fact, a friend of mine, actually it's a neighbor, was in a car accident and went to a lawyer, was really seriously hurt. And the lawyer insisted when that person went to have the exams from the doctor, and then of course it was the other insurance company's doctor, everything was videotaped. Right. And any exam would not have taken place, as per her lawyer, unless that was all videotaped. So I wonder how viable that is as a resource for other patients going forward to say, listen, I'm not going to consent to this exam unless it's videotaped by a third party.
And that is a viable option, except who has custody of that videotape and how is it stored, who's it viewed by, and how's it used? Mm-hmm. Those are the questions. I mean, if it's the patient taping it, yeah, you have control over it. But if it's the medical facility taping it, you lose total control over it.
But I'm talking about, for her specific instance, it was her lawyer that hired the third-party videographer that went into her exam, and the doctor said, what are these people doing here? And the lawyer said, these are my videographers, and my client is not going to be consenting to any exam because, quote unquote, a lot of things get lied about.
Yeah.
So we have this on record. So I'm just wondering, going forward, what can we do as that same patient? Can we hire these videographers to go in there, or do you need some kind of legal counsel to do that? Because it seems like that's what you need to do. And if it's the patient doing it, and we've talked about body cams, webcams, all of that stuff, then the patient has control and autonomy over it, and the hospital does not. Can the hospital bring in their own videographer? Are we going to get to that day where that's going to happen? Maybe. Because we've seen the different sides with police actions, with school buses now, different things like that have stuff being videotaped. What do you do anymore? You just can't blindly trust.
Well, the problem now with trying to bring in your own person to video is that a lot of doctors' offices have signs up, and even on their little form that you sign away your life in order to see that medical provider, it says no portion may be video or audio taped.
Mm-hmm. So then it gets...
Even though on their part it says it may be. And the second part of that is a doctor has the right then to refuse you the service.
Right. That is exactly what I was going to say. So then do you have to go to a different doctor to be able to have that done? So I got us off track a little bit with the chaperones. So you're saying the chaperones are on staff.
Right. Usually, yeah.
They're on staff. They're witnessing your intimate procedure. You're exactly right. We've talked about medical assistants. Basically, a lot of them, not all of them, it's never going to be 100%, are not trained. I know medical assistants here in my town that have been trained for a weekend course. That's their medical training. They went to 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they came out Monday with their certificate, and now they're a medical assistant.
Right.
And these are the people that are involved in your intimate procedures, both men and women. And is it going to be a female chaperone with a female patient? Is it going to be a male chaperone with a male patient? I mean, we've talked about that so many times. It's just disheartening and sickening that it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter anymore. We've seen it all. How many times have you and I said that, and other people on the show have said that, and what do we do?
Right, exactly. I mean, for male patients, it's going to be probably 99% of the time some young female office person or medical assistant, if you're that lucky, that is going to be the witness. For females, you're a little luckier, but that really doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
No one wants to be unnecessarily exposed to anyone else.
Right, exactly.
Or very few people do, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Some don't mind, but most people do mind.
And I don't understand, honestly, in this day and age, why we even have this discussion. When did it all come about? Was it at the advent of so many lawsuits? I mean, we've heard the name ambulance chaser. We've heard those kind of connotations. Was it when it became so litigious of a society that these things started to happen? Because before that, I remember orderlies were in charge of taking care of male patients, and then it was mostly female nurses or LPNs that took care of the female patients. And there really was no going across the board saying we're just going to grab who we want.
Right. Well, the use of chaperones really came about when people started realizing that some of the things that doctors were doing during exams were sexual in nature, and they started bringing lawsuits. So the medical society responded back. We're going to stick these people in there that are our people that will deny anything wrong being done. So that's how the use of chaperones kind of came about. However, you still have modern day cases of doctors not using chaperones and the patient not having their spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever in there with them, and it still happens. And it still happens, and unfortunately there are cases of it still happening with chaperones in there, because the chaperones are being paid by whoever the sexual abuser is.
Right. On that note, I'm going to say, right, yes. On that note, I'm going to say a huge thank you to Misty Roberts at Medical Patient Modesty. She's one of our partners. You can reach her at patientmodesty.org. She's also on Facebook. Jeannie Rowley, you're on Twitter at Rights for Patients with the numeral 4. It's an unbelievable conversation. I mean, I don't want to have it, but we have to have it because so many people are being harmed. You've been listening to Planet Vera. Please stay tuned.